protest will prove whether Zimbabweans can unite. And also, if indeed Zimbabweans can unite, it can be a serious challenge for Emerson Dambudzo Mnangagwa. I'm sure you can see that there is a lot of panic within the camp of Emerson Dambudzo Mnangagwa faction. They have been running amok, calling for the people of Zimbabwe to treat the 31st of July as a normal day. But from the look of things, social media is a buzz. Zimbabweans are saying it is the time. Zimbabweans are saying enough is enough. There is absolutely no face of this protest. Of course, we've seen ZAPU deciding to also organize, convene one of the gatherings. But this protest, we've seen people speaking about them, and the date has been set. At the moment, the real organizers of this protest remain unknown, and we've heard Sungano, Yebanu, as well as Umbano, Lomphakathi, standing up saying we didn't convene these protest, but we support the rights of the people of Zimbabwe to express themselves in the form of protest. Sungano Yebanu, you would understand that part of the members of that institutions are war veterans, and we know that war veterans, in their overwhelming majority, they are supporting the Chiwenga faction, and we know that the Chiwenga faction is actually against Constitutional Amendment Bill number 3 Act of 2026. I don't know whether I called it properly. They are against that. There is absolutely no statement that has been issued by those who are supporting the Chiwenga faction, or even Chiwenga himself. He has not shown any giving up, especially on a constitutional act that was signed into law. And of course, it is law at the moment, but that does not mean laws that are anti-people cannot be challenged. And we know that this is a crooked war. Greetings and welcome to your lovely channel, the Hlonipani Global News. If you're watching us for the very first time, please remember to press the red or black subscribe button so that next time when we beam live, you become the very first one to watch us. The mind-boggling question is, will the Chiwenga faction join the protest of the 31st of July? I think I must emphasize that we've seen silence. We've seen the faction of retired General Chiwenga, even some generals, taking a break from commenting. They commented once, and they showed rejection to this act, and they said they supported the mobilization. They said Zimbabweans should mobilize themselves, and they indicated that they will not flinch. Well, you would not expect the retired military generals, and we know, supported by Air Marshal Muchena, we know beyond reasonable doubt that they are part of the retired General Chiwenga faction, because they are against Emerson Dambudzo Mnangagwa stance that he has taken to unlawfully change the constitution of Zimbabwe. And as such, and they even post-signing this, translating this bill into an act, they have indicated that they will not watch Emerson Dambudzo Mnangagwa doing as he please. Now, who are the people behind the 31st of July? The answer to that is they remain unknown. We know there are numerous individuals behind the scenes supporting this protest because it is a lawful activity to be carried out by Zimbabweans. The political space in Zimbabwe has been shut by Emerson Dambudzo Mnangagwa, and I have always said that when the political space is shut, there is absolutely one logic, that the people should take their power back. Now, remember, Blessed Keza was by large also part of the retired General Chiwenga. He called for Zimbabweans to protest. Of course, they did not respond overwhelmingly. Why was he calling for protest? And also, if you look at the king was their story by retired General Chiwenga. But I'm more interested at the story where you are saying there will be consequences if this bill would be passed. It can be passed. The story, this is what it was simply saying in summation. I want to go to the next story of Lazarus. Now, in the story, there is no sound. Okay, let me check. Now, in the story of Lazarus, let me just get rid of this microphone. I hope someone is not lying to me because the microphone is still on. Now, if you listen to the story of Lazarus, where Chiwenga talked of Jesus allowed Lazarus to die. Jesus allowed Lazarus to die and had to go when Lazarus was dead. It was bad. Oh, thank you. And had to go when Lazarus was dead to actually rescue the situation. And Chiwenga saying Jesus deliberately did so that people participate. So that people participate until Lazarus was extracted and removed from the tomb by the people participating in the process. In simple terms, what he was saying is that his faction may not necessarily be effective alone. It requires the participation of people themselves participating. How can people participate in the process? By protesting. Then it becomes easy. If you look during 2017, protest as well as military action were done, were intertwined during that particular period. To give a picture, though it was a false, and it was actually, because anyway, we can say it was a false picture, but Zimbabweans were desperate. They wanted the removal of Robert Gabriel Mugabe. Just like now, we want Emerson Dambudzo Mnangagwa gone. Zimbabweans who are calling for the 31st of July protest want Emerson Dambudzo Mnangagwa gone. They want the Zwikanandas gone. They are tired of Zwikanandas. They want a country that works for all. They want a country that is progressive. They want a country that would be peaceful, and we are talking of real peace. Not a country that may be peaceful in terms of observation, but people in their homes actually crying in agony, sleeping hungry because of the conditions, economic and socio conditions that have been created by the regime of Emerson Dambudzo Mnangagwa. So there is high likelihood the Chiwenga faction may also join the people of Zimbabwe in terms of removing Emerson Dambudzo Mnangagwa. Support these protests, then it gives the Chiwenga faction a leverage. We know during the time of Blessed Keza said, of course, the generals who sold out the struggle, who sold out Blessed Keza, but he spoke of progressive forces and also Knox coming through saying Emerson Dambudzo Mnangagwa may be thinking he is in control, may be thinking he is protected, not knowing that the very people offering him protection are the progressive forces themselves. He mentioned also the progressive
forces. So within the Zimbabwe Defense Forces, there is absolutely no doubt that there is division. If Emerson Tambudzo Mnangagwa was dominating the Zimbabwe Defense Forces, I can tell you he would have dealt with individuals such as retired Vice Air Marshal Mchena. As much as there is silence from the general, silence from Knox Chiwenga would not just appear without real and tangible story, or when it is not necessary. The moment you see him appearing, it would be necessary, and he would be delivering necessary news to the people of Zimbabwe. So, his quietness doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean there is no action happening behind the scenes. Remember, initially, Blessed Keza had to acknowledge that Emerson Tambudzo Mnangagwa saw us coming because we were playing our cards openly. I can attest to that cards are being played secretly. That is why you see Mnangagwa screaming a lot and all those around him. That is why you see them screaming a lot, intimidating the people of Zimbabwe. You are going to see a lot of social media campaigning against this protest because they know protest can be a big deal, and protest may also attract the military to take some actions. Remember last time in 2018 when elections were stolen and people of Zimbabwe were protesting, the military unfortunately that time came to do a coup for Emerson Tambudzo Mnangagwa. They have learned it hard that this is not a man that can be trusted. I know there is no sane military personnel that trust the leadership of Emerson Tambudzo Mnangagwa. They do not trust him, but obviously because of the court, they have to actually die in silence. But I can attest, when the worst comes to the worst, they will be left with no option but to defend the people of Zimbabwe. There is high probability that we may be surprised seeing the military also joining the people's struggle, joining the faceless 31st of July 2026 protest. Everyone should participate in these protests. They are a real deal. They can change actually the face of Zimbabwe. Thank you very much for watching us. If you are watching us for the very first time, please do remember to press the red or black subscribe button so that next time when we beam live, you become the very first one to watch us. You can financially support this channel by button and be part of our members who are the heartbeat of this channel. You can equally do so by pressing the thanks button and send us stars. Is and leave you. Let's on the other side of the live broadcast.